Blessy, hi. I have DHHF. I'm wondering what else could I add? Thank you.
Oh,
nothing. That's the point, isn't it?
Keep it simple.
I think do you know what I wrote? Money.
add
Keep
more.
shoveling. We don't have to overcook our investing. Like how many times you see it in the Facebook groups, I've got this and we've got to optimize, we've got to this, we've got a point sack, we've got to keep it so simple, you'll be rich.
Yeah, we've got a self-managed super fund because we've got a property in
Do
it.
you? Rich much?
But outside of that, we've got investments and we've just got 2 index funds. Keep it simple. Every time money goes in there, we just invest in those 2 funds. Like that's not my jam. I'm not a investment specialist. We do.
What do you do, Phil, for work?
Yeah, we help people set up personal insurance cover at Skywell. So thank you for asking.
Oh, you're welcome.
And so, I think it's just the stats shows that keeping it simple and just keeping your life simple, putting yourself in the index fund is more than enough. Think about, how do I earn more money to put in this? Don't spend time, energy, effort, going down any, crypto and thinking about adding that or even other,
What's
more
your
sexy.
view on crypto, Philly?
I have good friends who love to tell me to get into crypto, and I have done it in the past and got out a long time ago. And I just think,
And those good friends are now got lots of money, don't they?
now still in the same position they were 4 years ago when they told me to get in.
I think they're on yachts.
No, they're very successful, Phil. They're very successful.
Yeah, so I just think
couldn't
keep
hack
it simple.
it, could you?
Keep it
You
simple.
could not hack it.
I couldn't.
But in saying that, I mean, if you're in an index fund, you're basically saying we trust the market and we're happy to let it roll.
I'm happy with market returns.
Absolutely fine, right? Absolutely fine. If you want to add a bit of spice to that, and sometimes it makes sense, then you could look at DHHF and go, well, is it missing anything? It's fully passive. So do you like that idea of having a manager try and chase better returns? Depending on what happens in the world at different times, that approach is likely to outperform, but it's absolutely not guaranteed. So you're definitely not just throwing a dart at the map when it comes to an active manager approach. There are other considerations around DHHF, which, you're basically saying, I want to keep it simple. If you don't want to keep it simple, then you're in the wrong place, right? And so if you want to mix it up, then you need to take a bigger approach to that. And some people have an interest in it. Some people are looking at it and saying, could I potentially beat the market? Well, you're never going to beat it if you're in an index fund. But for most people, especially most people who aren't getting any advice on this, because advice costs money, and if you go down that path, you might end up in a better position depending on how much money you've got. But if you're DIYing it, Blessy, and you're saying, you know what, I've got enough going into this that I'm happy that it just tracks the market, then rock and roll. And that wasn't advice, Blessy.
I'm just quickly going to log in on something. But before I do that, DHHF is a ETF, if you weren't aware. It's a portfolio in a box. And I'll make sure the team put in the podcast show notes and the YouTube show notes, I did a full deep dive review of DHHF versus Vanguard released a new product. Did you know that, guys? Called VDAL, Vanguard Diversified All Growth. Yeah. And
it comes in a couple of other places, like a very popular product for saving for kids, for example, like a bond.
Well, I don't know if VDAL is in the bonds yet.
It is now.
Is it really?
They've
is
added
it in
it.
Gen Life?
Yeah.
Really?
In Gen Life.
Interesting. Because I was opening my Gen Life account just as we were looking here, because I've just got VDHG in there and it's been fine. Like everyone's like, oh, no, you got to optimize and get it better. I'm like, no, I just focus on putting money in and let the investments do its thing. But yeah, I did a whole review of VDAL versus DHHF. Now, the asset allocation is 37% Australian equities, which is significant, I think. So take that for what you will. 41% in the US, so US equities. 16% in developed markets around the world, and 6% in emerging markets. So well over 60% international in this, and it's 100% growth, where VDAL is also 100% growth.
Yeah.
And it's similar. They've, it goes back to Blessy. I'm wondering what else I could add. Just add money. Like, what else do you add? Because it's that discussion whether I want to focus on my life, my work, my career, my goals, being a butcher, baker, candlestick maker, and just living on less than I earn and shoving money into investments. That will do the job.
Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly frank, I think unless you've got over $1 million of investments, keep it really simple. Because, like, if you get a 1%...
even over $1 million, keep it simple.
Well, I mean, that's my point of view. But if you really want to, make it spicy and interesting, maybe over $1 million, sub $1 million. Like, you get a 1% return higher.
I mean, I did a deep dive.
Sure, you're going to, earn a little bit extra. But it's...
I think there's a couple of things there. There's if you get it, 1% makes a huge difference over 30 years. Right? So for people with $5 million, it doesn't make as much difference because it's how much does that really matter? But for people with $100,000 or less, lower balances, starting balances with super, that type of thing, cost is the most important thing that you can control. But as your balance grows a bit more, cost becomes less important than getting the right
Well, when
outcome.
you're starting, the best outcome is the cash that you put in.
Yeah.
Like the actual contributions each month.
So the behaviour.
Statistically, index funds outperform
Active equivalents.
Yeah.
But an index fund will always perform under the index after fees.
Well, that's true.
If you're throwing a dart at the map. But look, to go another way for a second, if you've got a significant enough amount of money to be investing, so if it's $1 million, even if it's 100, the decisions are really important. Not just is it, so there's probably more important than anything is tax, right? And I mean, we're going deeper than Bessie's question here, but structuring that in the right way, deciding what does it go into super, does it stay in your own personal name, or do you open something like a bond type product like Glen was just talking about, so Generation Life. Tax rates in those might be significantly lower than what you're earning. There are all sorts of discussions around that stuff that is where those decisions become far more important than your investment return.
Yes.
And something else that trumps investment return generally is behavior. So we talked about the spending plan.
Yeah,
talked
exactly.
about keeping more of what you're earning, structuring accounts, not burning it all, trying to hack points, not burning it all because it's all in one big bucket in the offset account, being clear on what's spendable, what's not, spending in line with what you care about, saving more as a result. Then where do you put it? And that end conversation of is it passive or active or something else is a much more minor.
Yeah, it's so far down the list that.
I mean, I think, Blessy, you need a copy of the book, The Quick Start Guide to Investing, because I reckon that will really help you on your journey to enlightenment. Hey, it's Glen here. Thank you so much for watching today's video. You made it to the end. Can I ask a favor? Can you hit that like button and maybe hit subscribe if you want to get notified when we release further videos just like this one, whether you watch the Money, Money, Money podcast or Retire Right. And remember, if you want to learn more about investing, I've got an investing book, The Quick Start Guide to Investing, and there's a link in the description to get your hands on a copy. Thank you so much. Bye.